There is a moment in every human life where the fire inside begins to flicker, not explode, not die, just flicker quietly, almost imperceptibly. And most people don't even notice. They go on with their routines, their habits, their plans. They drink their coffee, check their phones, perform the rituals of their identity. They tell themselves, I'm just tired. It's just a phase. I'll bounce back tomorrow. But days become weeks. Weeks become months. And then, without even realizing it, they've become strangers to their own passion. The things that once set their soul ablaze now feel like chores. The goals they once chased with hunger now feel like ghosts. The mirror reflects someone who's surviving, but no longer living. This isn't burnout. This isn't laziness. This isn't a lack of ambition. This is misalignment. Because when a human being is aligned, when soul, mind, and body are working as one, there is no need to force motivation. It flows naturally. It rises from within like a sacred current. You don't need coffee. You don't need pressure. You don't need punishment. You need clarity. You need reconnection to that inner flame. But that flame, your inner fire, is not infinite. It's not some external source that pours into you like gasoline. It is you. It is your vitality, your essence, your will to express something that no one else on this earth can express. And when you ignore that truth, when you betray that truth, when you try to become who you think you're supposed to be rather than who you are, the fire doesn't rage. It retreats. It waits in silence. Carl Jung called this the betrayal of the self, not the ego, not the persona you wear in public, but the self, the totality of who you are, conscious and unconscious, shadow and light. And when that betrayal happens, the flame begins to dim, not because you've failed, but because you've stopped listening. See? Modern life teaches you to ignore your inner world. It teaches you to perform instead of feel, to consume instead of create, to adapt instead of awaken. You're told to be productive, but never to be present, to chase success, but never to seek meaning, to fill your schedule, but never your soul. And over time, you forget what your fire even felt like. You forget the nights you stayed up dreaming with wide eyes. You forget the mornings you jumped out of bed because something called you. You forget the deep knowing in your gut that you were here for a reason, one that no one could give to you and no one could take from you. That reason still lives in you, but it's buried now, under noise, under pressure, under 1,000 layers of identity that were never truly yours. This is the first sign, the most subtle, the most dangerous. Not a breakdown, not a meltdown, but a slow fading of vitality, a slow dimming of presence, a slow erosion of that internal sacred yes that once burned like a star inside your chest. You may look fine, you may function well, but inside, the spark that once made you you is whispering. Where did you go? Most people ignore that whisper. They get busier. They numb themselves. They chase external validation, hoping it will compensate for the loss within. But it never does, because no amount of likes, followers, money, praise, or even achievements can replace the power of being fully alive. No metric in the world can replace the moment you look in the mirror and recognize the fire in your own eyes again. And so, the journey back begins here. Not with goals, not with planners, not with productivity hacks, but with this one. Terrifying, liberating question. Have I abandoned myself? Because that is where your fire went. That is where your motivation hides. Not in a TED Talk, not in a YouTube video, not in someone else's morning routine. It hides in the parts of you you've silenced. The parts you've labeled unrealistic, the parts that used to dream, that used to dare, that used to dance in the unknown and call it sacred. You were not born empty. You were born radiant, lit from within by something eternal, something irreplaceable. But the world taught you to dim. It taught you to shrink, to be realistic, to be efficient, to be safe. But safety without soul is slow suicide. And now, the fire inside you is sending its final signals, not to scare you, but to wake you, because before you lose motivation, you lose yourself. So if everything feels fine, but nothing feels alive, listen closely. That whisper in the dark, that's not fear, that's not weakness, that's your soul knocking on the walls of your identity, asking to come home. There's a quiet kind of collapse that doesn't begin with a breakdown. It begins with a drift. You wake up on time. You brush your teeth. You check your calendar. You go through the day, one task after another, like you're crossing invisible checkpoints. And yet, something inside you isn't moving. Something isn't responding. Something isn't present. It's not pain that marks this phase. It's the absence of meaning. You're not suffering visibly, but you're not living consciously either. You're drifting, not across oceans, but across hours. Not through adventures, but through appointments. Not into the unknown, but into numb repetition. You begin to say things like, I don't even remember what I did this week. Time is flying, but I'm stuck. Everything feels the same. And that sameness, it becomes a kind of sleepwalking, a trance of normalcy, a hypnosis of the ordinary. And worst of all, it feels normal. But the human soul was not made to drift. It was made to direct, to steer, to choose. When you are aligned with something meaningful, you don't just move through time. You inhabit it. You live it with presence. You infuse it with attention. You become the author of your moments, not just the actor in someone else's script. Carl Jung understood this drift as a sign of psychic disintegration, a loss of inner orientation. When a person lacks a deep why, they begin to live according to the what and when of society. What do I need to do? When is it due? What do they expect of me? And so, life becomes a checklist, a performance, a loop. And the worst part, you get praised for it. You get rewarded for playing the part well. You get promoted, liked, approved of. But inside, your compass spins without direction. Because motivation, in its true form, is not a reaction to pressure. It's a response to purpose. And if your life has become a series of reactions, deadlines, obligations, expectations, then that sacred purpose is no longer steering the wheel. Something else is. And that something is often fear. Fear of falling behind. Fear of disappointing others. Fear of being irrelevant. So you stay busy, you keep moving, you keep drifting, because drifting feels better than confronting the silence underneath. But silence is not the enemy. Silence is a signal. It's your inner world telling you you are living out of rhythm. You've replaced presence with performance. You've traded wonder for routine. And here's the tragedy: drifting doesn't feel like drowning until it's too late. Because you're not gasping, you're not screaming. You're just slowly forgetting who you are. You start living by default instead of by design. You start settling for comfort instead of chasing clarity. And the longer you drift, the deeper you disconnect from the part of you that chooses. That part, the chooser, is sacred. It's the soul's navigator. It's the inner yes that shapes destiny. And when you abandon that, life doesn't stop, but meaning does. So ask yourself, am I living this day because I choose to, or because it's what I've always done? Do I remember the last time I felt moved, not just obligated? Do I still feel the pulse of life inside my choices, or just the echo of survival? Because drifting isn't always obvious. It doesn't come with alarms. It comes with repetition. It comes with comfort. It comes with autopilot. But make no mistake, it is a warning. And the longer you ignore it, the harder it becomes to find your way back. The beauty, though, is this: the moment you notice the drift is the moment you begin to awaken, not by forcing change, not by shaming yourself, but by reclaiming your attention, because attention is the gateway to aliveness. To reclaim your motivation, you must first reclaim your gaze. Where are you looking? What are you honoring with your energy? What are you allowing to fill your minutes, your hours, your days? When you begin to look again, not just see, but look, you awaken the part of you that remembers why you're here. You awaken choice. You awaken direction. You awaken the sacred privilege of being present in your own life. So if you've been drifting, don't wait for a breakdown. Don't wait for rock bottom. Don't wait for the world to collapse. Return. Return to now. Return to breath. Return to that quiet voice within that still whispers. You were not meant to drift. You were meant to burn. There is a war beneath your surface, and most of the time, you don't even know it's happening. It doesn't shout. It doesn't announce itself. It whispers in the form of procrastination, self-sabotage, apathy, or unexplained exhaustion. You think you're just off today? That maybe it's your diet, your sleep, your willpower. But often, it's not your habits that are broken. It's your psyche that's in conflict. Because when you suppress who you truly are, that hidden part doesn't vanish. It waits in the shadows. And slowly, it starts to sabotage your fire from the inside. Carl Jung called it the shadow, the rejected, repressed, unacknowledged parts of your personality, the anger you buried, the fears you masked with confidence, the dreams you abandoned to fit in, the voice inside you that once said, "I want to be more," but was silenced by shame. When these parts are ignored, they don't disappear, they fester, and then they return, not as guidance, but as resistance. You find yourself avoiding the very things you once wanted. You delay progress, not because you're lazy, but because deep down, your unconscious no longer trusts the direction you're going. You've become divided. And no divided soul can move with full power. Motivation comes not from force, but from wholeness. You cannot be at war with yourself and expect to move forward with conviction. But that's what many people try to do. They push harder. They grind more. They stack routines, affirmations, disciplines on top of a fractured foundation. And eventually, it all crumbles. Because what's underneath is not weakness, it's woundedness. You're not unmotivated. You're unresolved. The shadow is not your enemy. It is your map. It tells you where your soul is bleeding. It tells you where your power was stolen. It tells you what must be integrated if you ever want to be whole again. See, we're taught to fear the parts of us that feel too much, too angry, too wild, too selfish, too ambitious, too sensitive. But these are not defects. They are clues. They are fragments of your totality waiting to be welcomed home. Jung believed that the journey to becoming fully alive, the path to individuation, was not about becoming perfect. It was about becoming whole. And wholeness requires reconciliation with your fear, with your rage, with your desire, with the parts of you that were once told you're not allowed to exist. If you don't bring those parts into the light, they will work against you in the dark. They will erode your drive. They will cloud your clarity. They will sabotage your effort, not because they hate you, but because they are you, and they've been abandoned. So ask yourself, honestly, what part of me have I been running from? What voice inside me have I muted? What dream have I buried under someone else's expectations? You cannot lie to your unconscious. It knows, it always knows. And the moment you begin to acknowledge what you've suppressed, something incredible happens. The resistance softens. The sabotage slows. The fire begins to return, not from motivation, but from reconciliation. You don't need to fix yourself. You need to reclaim yourself. Motivation is not about hype. It is about alignment. And alignment cannot exist when half of you is chained in the basement of your own mind. If you feel like you're constantly starting and stopping, if your efforts rise like a wave and crash in confusion, if you set goals and abandon them, not out of disinterest, but out of emotional weight, then listen. You are not broken. You are not weak. You are not unworthy. You are divided. And division cannot produce direction. Direction comes from integration, from the courage to sit with your shadow and say, I see you, I hear you, you belong. Because when the shadow is welcomed, it becomes strength. When the forgotten self is embraced, it becomes fuel. The fire that once dimmed in silence can now burn with wholeness, not because you conquered it, but because you united with it. And that unity, that wholeness, is the birthplace of unstoppable motivation. You start to notice it in the smallest moments. Tying your shoes feels like a task. Answering a message feels like pressure. Even the sound of your alarm feels heavier than usual, not louder, just heavier, like everything requires more effort than it used to. This is not about being tired. It's about being misaligned. When every action in your life begins to feel like resistance, that's not a sign to push harder. It's a sign to look deeper, because resistance is not always a failure of willpower. Often, it's wisdom in disguise. It's your inner self trying to stop you from walking further down a path that no longer belongs to you. And yet, the modern world teaches us to ignore resistance, push through, keep grinding, no excuses. But the soul has its own language, and when the soul says no, your body will start to resist your mind. You'll feel it as fatigue. You'll feel it as burnout. You'll feel it as procrastination. Not because you're lazy, but because something inside you is saying, this isn't it. When everything becomes a struggle, that is not the time to double your effort. It's the time to realign your direction. Because true motivation doesn't require force. It flows. It's not always easy, but it feels right. It moves with you, not against you. Carl Jung warned that when people are out of alignment with their inner truth, their energy begins to rebel. What once excited them becomes exhausting. What once inspired them becomes irritating. And soon, even joy becomes a memory, not a reality. You might still be performing, still producing, still getting things done. But inside, you're dragging a weight that no one else can see. The weight of inauthenticity. This is the hidden cost of saying yes to everything that doesn't align with who you are. Every time you agree to something that your soul resists, a piece of you dims. Every time you act from obligation instead of conviction, your fire cools. Every time you silence your intuition to meet someone else's expectations, your path becomes harder. Not because life is punishing you, but because you've left your own path. Resistance, then, is not the problem. It's the signal. It's the soul's way of saying, you've wandered from what's true, but here's the tragedy: we don't listen. We interpret resistance as weakness. We beat ourselves up. We tell ourselves, I need to be more disciplined. I need to try harder. And so we double down on the wrong direction. We build better habits. But toward goals that mean nothing to us, we read more books, but ignore the wisdom within. We seek more motivation, but fail to ask, is what I'm doing even worth being motivated for? When resistance shows up again and again, don't just push through. Pause. Ask, is this struggle a sign of growth or a sign of misalignment? Because not all effort is noble. Some effort is just survival, and survival is not the same as purpose. Purpose has its own weight, yes, but it's a weight that strengthens you. not one that buries you. If you're waking up tired even after resting, if you feel heavy even when life looks good on paper, if you find yourself dreading what used to inspire you, then it's time to listen. Your soul doesn't speak in language, it speaks in sensation. And when it begins to resist, that's not a breakdown. That's a boundary between who you've become and who you truly are. Cross that boundary too many times and you'll find yourself hollow, motivated not by desire, but by fear, by pressure, by external expectations. And that kind of motivation is never sustainable because it's not rooted in your truth. It's borrowed, it's fragile, it burns fast and leaves nothing but ash. So today, instead of asking how to push through, ask how to come home. Back to what feels aligned. Back to what makes you feel alive. Back to what moves you, not what drags you. Because real motivation doesn't feel like resistance. It feels like release, like breath after holding it too long, like warmth after standing in the cold, like yourself, finally remembering the rhythm of your own heartbeat. You had goals once, not the kind you write on paper to impress others, but the kind that lived in your chest, beating louder than your fear, whispering louder than your doubts. They didn't need to be flashy, they didn't need validation. They were yours. But somewhere along the way, they changed. Subtly at first, you started chasing what looked good instead of what felt right. You started aiming for what others respected instead of what your soul desired. You started listening to the noise and silencing the knowing. And now, you've got goals, yes, but they feel hollow. You're achieving things, but you're not feeling anything. This is a critical sign that motivation is quietly dissolving when your ambitions no longer stir your soul. Carl Jung wrote that the greatest tragedy is not when a man fails to reach his goals, it's when he succeeds at goals that were never truly his. Because success without soul is a slow poison. It gives you trophies for abandoning your truth. It rewards performance while punishing presence. It inflates your image while eroding your identity. You become everything they wanted and nothing you recognize. You set milestones, build routines, track your progress. But inside, you feel emptier with every step. That's not laziness. That's misalignment. That's your soul saying, "We're climbing the wrong mountain." You see, the right goals don't drain you. They challenge you, yes. They stretch you, yes. But they also call you. You feel their pull in your gut, in your dreams, in the way time disappears when you work on them. There's a sacred ache to real purpose, to yes, but it's the kind of ache that reminds you you're alive. But when your goals are dictated by culture, comparison, or compensation, they become cages. You no longer move from desire, you move from duty. You no longer feel alive. You feel trapped by the very dreams you were told would set you free. And the world claps while your soul collapses. We live in a culture that glorifies the grind, but ignores the grief that comes when you grind for the wrong reasons. So many people wake up successful and feel broken, not because they failed, but because they betrayed themselves along the way. They chased degrees they didn't believe in. They built businesses they didn't love. They reached titles that required them to amputate who they were, all in the name of motivation. But true motivation doesn't require you to cut pieces of yourself away. It asks you to return to who you've always been, to the wild, intuitive, sacred part of you that once knew, "This is what I want." Not because it's safe, not because it's smart, but because it's me. So how do you know your goals are wrong? You stop caring. You stop waking up with fire. You stop feeling moved by the milestones. You stop remembering why you started. And instead, you move from habit, from obligation, from image. But there's good news. The moment you realize your goals are soulless is the moment you're free to start again. You're not too old. You're not too far gone. You're not trapped. You're just misaligned. And the cure for misalignment isn't discipline. It's honesty. Ask yourself, what do I really want? What did I bury to fit in? What dream keeps visiting me at night, even after I've rejected it for years? That dream is not a distraction. It's a direction. It's your truth resurfacing. Not to haunt you, but to invite you home. Because the real tragedy isn't failure. It's success in the wrong life. So today, give yourself permission to remember, to rewrite, to release the goals that never belonged to you in the first place. Because once your ambition reconnects with your soul, you won't need motivation. You'll need discipline to keep up with the fire. You check your phone again, not because there's anything urgent, not because you're expecting anything life-changing, but because it's easier than facing the silence. You open another tab, scroll another feed, play another video, swipe, tap, escape. At first, it feels harmless, just a short break. But that break becomes a habit, and that habit becomes a lifestyle. This is the next sign that motivation is dying quietly within you. You've become addicted to distraction, not by accident, but by design. Because when the soul is unfulfilled, the mind searches for escape, and nothing helps you forget yourself faster than noise. Noise is everywhere. It's disguised as entertainment, information, updates, alerts. It pretends to be productivity. It masquerades as connection. But what it really does is disconnect you from your own inner truth. Distraction is not the disease. It's the symptom. The real disease is avoidance. Avoidance of stillness. Avoidance of feeling. Avoidance of confronting the emptiness that grows when you are not living in alignment with your soul. Carl Jung warned us about this. When we lose connection to meaning, we fill the void with stimulation. But stimulation is not nourishment. It never fills you. It only numbs you temporarily. And then it demands more. So you keep clicking, keep scrolling, keep watching, keep running from yourself. Distraction is the modern drug of the spiritually starved. We don't sit with our discomfort. We swipe it away. We don't listen to our longing. We mute it with music, memes, motion. We don't face our emptiness. We decorate it with filters, with updates, with perfectly crafted digital selves. But behind all that noise still waits the truth. You are out of alignment. You are disconnected. You are afraid to feel. Why? Because stillness exposes everything you've buried. The doubts you pretend don't exist. The grief you never processed. The desires you were told were too much. The life you secretly wish you had the courage to live. Stillness is uncomfortable because it tells the truth. And in a world addicted to comfort, truth feels like a threat. So we choose stimulation instead. And slowly, we forget how to sit in silence without checking out. We forget how to feel an emotion without numbing it. We forget how to be with ourselves without trying to escape who we are. But here's the price. Every moment spent in distraction is a moment lost from becoming who you truly are. And when those moments become your default, motivation fades, not in one dramatic fall, but in 1,000 tiny leaks. You stop following through. You stop dreaming clearly. You stop feeling energized. Not because you're broken, but because your attention has been hijacked. And attention is everything. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. Where your energy flows, your life grows. So if your energy is scattered across 10 apps, 5 tabs, and 3 timelines, don't be surprised when your soul feels diluted. You cannot create a powerful life from a distracted mind. You cannot cultivate deep motivation with shallow focus. So what's the solution? Not more productivity hacks, not stricter schedules, not deleting every app and going off grid. The solution is presence. The courage to be still, to feel again, to reclaim your gaze from the glittering world of noise and bring it back to your own breath, to your own heartbeat, to the dream you once had before the world made you forget. That dream is still waiting, but it will not scream. It will whisper, and it can only be heard when the volume of the world is turned down. This is not about becoming a monk. It's about remembering that you are not born to be distracted. You were born to embody, to feel deeply, to focus fiercely, to choose consciously. And that begins with one brave act. Sit in the silence you've been running from. Not to judge it, not to fix it, but to finally hear what it has to say. Because beneath every distraction is a truth you've been avoiding, and a life you're still worthy of returning to. There was a time when you were curious, when the world felt enchanted, when even the simplest things made you pause in wonder. Sunlight through leaves, the quiet before a storm, the pulse in your own chest reminding you you're alive. But now, you barely notice. You move through the world with dull eyes. You forget to look up. You forget to ask questions. You forget to feel awe. This is another sign, one most people miss. Motivation doesn't just die in fatigue or fear. It dies in numbness. When curiosity leaves, so does the will to act. You may still function, you may still produce, but inside you feel flat. You're no longer pulled by possibility, you're pushed by routine. You don't wake up with anticipation. You wake up with a checklist. You don't explore. You execute. Carl Jung said that the creation of something new is not accomplished by the intellect, but by the play instinct. And what is peace if not the child of curiosity? You see, curiosity isn't a luxury. It's a lifeline. It's the soul's signal that there's still something worth discovering. It's the spark behind every invention, every revolution, every moment of aliveness. But when curiosity fades, you stop exploring the world, and more dangerously, you stop exploring yourself. You stop asking, who am I becoming? What lights me up? What does this emotion mean? What am I here to learn? And when those questions die, your inner world begins to close in. You become predictable, rigid, controlled. You stop evolving and start repeating. Motivation cannot thrive in repetition without reflection. It cannot survive in a world where nothing feels new, because the human soul is not meant to be a machine. It's meant to be a vessel for discovery. Discovery of truth, discovery of meaning, discovery of self. But numbness kills that mission. And here's the truth about numbness. It's not natural. It's protective. People don't become numb because they're bored. They become numb because they're overwhelmed. Because somewhere along the way, feeling became too painful. So they shut it off. And once you shut off pain, you also shut off passion. You can't selectively numb. You can't mute fear and still expect to feel joy. You can't suppress grief and still expect to feel purpose. You can't avoid sadness and still expect to feel drive. So if you've gone numb, don't ask what's wrong with you. Ask what you're protecting. What part of you didn't feel safe enough to feel? That's where your curiosity went. It didn't disappear. It retreated into the parts of you that haven't been held with compassion. And now it waits. It waits for you to care again, to wonder again, to believe again. Because curiosity is not a childish indulgence. It's the soul remembering that life is worth exploring, that you are still unfolding, that your story is still alive. That meaning can still be found, even in the most ordinary places. So how do you awaken it? Start small. Ask why. Ask what if. Ask what would happen if you let go of the roles you've been playing long enough to wonder what else is possible. Read something that challenges you. Talk to someone who sees the world differently. Step into nature without headphones. Watch the way a flame flickers and ask yourself why it moves you. Let mystery back in, because when mystery returns, so does movement. And where there is movement, motivation follows, not the kind that needs a pep talk, the kind that stirs you from within, the kind that makes you write again, sing again, try again, risk again, not because you have to, but because you want to. That's what curiosity restores the wanting, the soul's hunger for more, not more status, more money, more validation, but more life. So if you've gone numb, the answer isn't to work harder. It's to feel again, to let the world touch you again, to let your own breath remind you you are still here. You are still capable of wonder. You are still allowed to care. And in caring, you remember what it means to be moved. And once you're moved, you begin to move. You wake up, get dressed, and walk out the door, wearing your best face. You smile when expected. You say what's appropriate. You nod, you work, you perform. But deep inside, something aches. Not from failure, not from lack, but from falseness. You're not tired from doing too much. You're tired from being someone you're not. And that exhaustion, it's spiritual. It's not cured by rest. It's only cured by truth. This is one of the most deceptive signs of fading motivation. Your identity begins to feel like a costume. At first, you might not even notice. You've done everything right. You've built the image. You've crafted the persona. You've become who you thought you were supposed to be. But slowly, that image begins to suffocate you, because somewhere beneath all that performance is a person you no longer recognize. Carl Jung warned us about this. He called it the danger of the persona, the social mask we wear to adapt, to survive, to be accepted. And yes, some mask is necessary. Society requires roles. Language requires form. But the problem begins when you confuse the mask for your face. When you start believing the character you're playing is you, you start living in rehearsed lines, practiced gestures, curated emotions. And in doing so, you slowly exile the parts of you that are unscripted. The messy parts, the wild parts, the raw, creative, unfiltered parts. At first, it feels safer. It keeps things clean. It earns applause. But it costs something sacred: authenticity. And authenticity is the root of all sustainable motivation. Because the soul doesn't want to perform, it wants to express. It wants to be. And when you force it to hide behind masks day after day, year after year, it begins to retreat. You'll feel it as burnout that no sleep fixes, as apathy that no success solves, as emptiness in rooms full of applause. Because when your identity becomes performance, every moment becomes labor, and that labor doesn't lead to expansion. It leads to erosion. So ask yourself, am I showing up as who I am, or who I think they want me to be? Do I speak my truth, or speak to maintain peace? Do I chase goals that ignite me, or goals that impress them? These are not soft questions. They are soul questions. And your answers determine the source of your motivation. Because if your drive comes from image, it will always depend on approval. And when approval fades, so will your fire. But if your drive comes from identity, not the identity the world assigned you, but the identity you remember deep in your bones, then no one can take it from you. The truth is, your soul is not interested in being impressive. It's interested in being real. Not perfect, present. Not admired, authentic. And when you begin to return to that kind of truth, something shifts. You stop trying to prove yourself. You stop trying to explain yourself. You stop trying to fit into boxes that were never made for your shape. You start breathing again. You start feeling again. You start creating, not from fear of being unseen, but from joy in being yourself. And the beautiful paradox is this: when you stop performing, you become magnetic. When you drop the costume, your presence expands. When you live from your essence, motivation becomes effortless. Not because life gets easier, but because you're no longer fighting yourself just to survive each day. You're no longer pretending. You're no longer translating your soul into a language that others approve. You're just being, and that being, that raw, real, unfiltered you, is more powerful than any mask you've ever worn. So if you feel tired for no reason, if your days feel like acting, if your reflection no longer feels familiar, maybe it's time to take the mask off. Not all at once, but slowly, gently, bravely, because underneath all the roles is the real you, waiting, watching, hoping you'll remember. You were never meant to perform your life. You were meant to live it. You can't sit still, not for long. The moment silence enters the room, you reach for something, your phone, the remote, the refrigerator door, anything to fill the space. You tell yourself you're restless, that you're just wired this way, but deep down, you know, you're not running toward anything. You're running away. This is one of the most overlooked signs that your motivation is withering. You fear stillness more than you fear failure. Because failure, at least, can be explained, it can be fixed, it can be spun, it can be covered with work, with words, with noise. But stillness leaves you exposed. Stillness forces you to feel. Stillness is a mirror, and mirrors do not lie. Carl Jung wrote that people will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls. He wasn't exaggerating. He was describing what we see every day. We see it in the endless scrolling, in the chronic busyness, in the addiction to productivity, in the obsession with movement. Because in stillness, truth catches up to you. And that truth is terrifying. If you've built your life on distractions, if you've crafted an identity around doing, producing, achieving, then stopping feels like death. But it's not death. It's a doorway. Stillness is not the enemy. It is the threshold to your real power. When you stop, you feel, and feeling for many people is terrifying. Because beneath the surface of performance, there are oceans of unprocessed grief, unlived dreams, unresolved longing. That's why it's easier to move, to stay loud, to stay distracted, because silence tells the truth. And if the life you've built is even slightly off from who you really are, silence will scream that misalignment into your bones. You can numb it for a while, but it will return. It will return every time you stop moving long enough to hear yourself again. And in those moments, something within you whispers, "This isn't the life I came here to live," and you hush that voice with noise. But motivation cannot live where truth is denied. Real soul-powered motivation only rises in environments of honesty, and honesty is born in stillness. So if you're constantly moving, constantly reaching, constantly consuming, but feel hollow, you're not unmotivated. You're avoiding the conversation that would change everything, the conversation with yourself. And what's waiting on the other side of that conversation? Not shame, not guilt, not judgment, but clarity, peace, freedom, the kind of motivation that doesn't rely on to-do lists or pep talks, because it's born from your own inner knowing. Stillness reveals the why behind everything you do. It doesn't just ask, "What are you chasing?" It asks, "Why are you running?" And when that why becomes clear, energy returns, direction returns, fire returns. But you can't fake it. You can't rush it. You can't manipulate it with noise. You have to be with it. Sit down, close your eyes, breathe, and wait for the discomfort to speak. It will tell you things you've avoided for years. It will remind you of dreams you buried. It will show you patterns you've normalized. It will bring your soul back into the conversation. And yes, it may hurt at first, because to feel again is to awaken the parts of you that have gone numb. But that pain is not punishment. It's proof that you're coming back to life. And when life returns, so does meaning, so does drive, so does sacred, unstoppable motivation. Not the kind that burns fast and fades, the kind that endures, the kind that moves mountains, the kind that rises from silence like a phoenix from ash. So if you can't sit still, don't judge yourself, but don't lie to yourself either. Ask, what am I so afraid of hearing in the quiet? Because that answer holds everything you've been looking for. You're not just tired. You're not just distracted. You're not just busy. You're scared of meeting yourself. But when you do, when you finally sit still long enough to see all of you, you'll remember you were never meant to run from your reflection. You were meant to rise from it. There comes a moment, not loud, not dramatic, when you simply forget. Forget why you began. Forget what you believed in. Forget what once made your chest burn with that untamable fire. You didn't mean to forget. It just slipped under the weight of to-do lists, expectations, appearances, obligations, lost between next steps and should-bes, drowned beneath the noise of trying to be everything to everyone. And now you sit in a life you built with your own hands, but wonder why it no longer lights you up. This is the final sign. And perhaps the most tragic, you've forgotten your inner why. Not the surface-level reasons. Not the resume, the salary, the applause. The deep why. The soul's why. The one that existed before the world got to you, before you learned to compromise truth for acceptance, before you edited your passion to sound more practical, before you took what burned inside and turned it into a brand. Carl Jung warned that a person who has not found meaning will seek stimulation, but meaning isn't found. It's remembered. It's the echo of your original fire. It's the answer to the question, what am I here to give? Not just get. Your deepest why is not about outcomes. It's about essence. It's the truth you carry even when your goals change, even when everything falls apart. It is the soul's signature, the invisible thread that runs through every choice that ever made you feel alive. When you forget it, motivation withers. You wake up, but not with purpose. You move, but not with conviction. You achieve, but not with joy. Because without your why, you become a machine. Efficient, perhaps, but empty. And you'll try to fill that emptiness with more goals, more noise, more consumption. But nothing replaces the fire that only your why can ignite. The danger isn't that you've failed, it's that you've succeeded without remembering why you started. So how do you return? You stop, you get quiet. You go back, not to who the world told you to be, but to who you were before the world had a say. Ask yourself, what did I dream of before I was told to be realistic? What moved me before I needed it to be profitable? What have I always known, deep in my bones, that I'm here to embody? These aren't indulgent questions. They are necessary because without your why, you're just wandering. You're building without soul. You're chasing without center. And eventually, everything collapses because truth will not be ignored forever. But the moment you remember your why, even in a whisper, things begin to change. You don't just wake up, you rise. You don't just plan, you create. You don't just act, you express. Not from pressure, from presence. Not from fear, from fire. Not from ego, from essence. Your why won't always be convenient. It won't always be marketable. It might make no sense to others, but it will make you feel alive. And aliveness is the only true fuel of meaningful motivation. Because a person on fire with purpose can do more in a day than someone chasing applause can do in a lifetime. So let this be the call to remember, not to hustle more, not to fix yourself, but to return to the sacred root of your soul. Strip away the labels. Forget the scripts. Abandon the roles. Stand naked in the truth of your existence and ask, what was I made to give this world? And then listen, not for thunder, not for fanfare. Listen for the quiet answer that's been waiting behind the noise. It won't shout. It will feel like recognition, like remembering a name you haven't heard in years, but always knew that is your why. When you return to it, you won't need tricks to stay motivated. You won't need caffeine or coaches or constant noise. You will burn from within, not for attention, not for validation, but because the soul, once lit by truth, does not need a reason to shine. It just does, and so will you. If this message resonated with you, a like, a comment, or a share could help it reach someone who needs it. This is more than a video. It's an invitation. Don't just observe, step into the journey. Your awakening and transformation begin the moment you choose them. Subscribe now and walk it with us at Carl Jung Journey.